Oh, so I'll give you the word picture.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some lessons with another instructor, but I've never ever met you before. He has got the same car as you, exactly the same, so I'm used to the controls, but it's just different colour. That's not going to make a difference.
Okay.
And yours is cleaner as well, yeah? I've got my test coming up in 2.5 weeks, actually. I'm really nervous. And Bob's just been running through the different subjects with me, but he can't make it today.
Okay.
He said he was going to have a look at my approaching to turn left and right.
Okay.
So what level am I?
Stage 2.
What level is that?
Partly trained.
Test in 2 weeks,
Testing
2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
What does that make me?
Trained.
Trained, yeah.
Trained, okay.
Yeah.
And testing 2.5 weeks, and we're going to do turns, left and right turns.
Yeah, it's approach turnings, turn left and right, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so my name's Tony, so you can call me anything you like, but I'll leave you to meet and greet.
Okay. Hi Tony, I'm Sue. Pleased
Hi,
to
Sue.
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Understand Bob can't make it today.
Again.
Yeah. You've got your test in 2.5 weeks' time,
yeah.
I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
And he's asked me to look at turnings to the left and to the right.
Yeah, I've just been running through the different subjects just to make sure that I'm okay.
Okay. All right. So just to give me an understanding of where you are. So you've obviously done turns left and right before.
Oh, yeah, I've done everything now, yeah.
Okay. So what sequence are you going to do if you're going to turn?
Oh, the MSM
right?
routine.
The
MSM routine.
Okay. Is there a little bit more that you need to think about when you're turning right?
Oh, yeah. It's, expand it into MSPSL.
Sorry, just
Mirror signal position speed look routine.
Yeah. Okay. So, so you're going to check your mirrors. You're going to put your signal position. Yeah. Okay. So if we're going to take, for example, we're going to take this turning here on the right.
All right.
So we've gone through our sequence, we've done our mirrors, put our signal on. Where are you going to position your car to turn right here?
Oh, as near to left centre as I can without blocking the road.
Okay. And when you make that turn to turn right, where are you going to look before you turn?
Oh, ahead and into the road.
Yeah. And why are you going to look ahead? What's the reason for looking ahead?
Well, there could be a car coming towards me, couldn't it?
Yeah. And how are you going to judge if it's safe for you to make that turn?
Oh, as long as I don't force that vehicle to slow, stop or swear at me.
Yeah.
I can go, couldn't I?
Yeah. And how are you going to judge that, whether or not that's safe to do?
I just know by experience now. I've been learning to drive for 7.5 months.
Okay. All right. Okay. And when you're going to make that turn, is there anywhere else that you need to look?
Oh, yeah, into the new road, yeah.
And what we're looking for in that new
Oh, I
road?
look for pedestrians and anything really. Could be a skip parked in the corner.
Yeah, okay. And pedestrians, so you say you're going to look for pedestrians. What happens if they've started to make a commitment and started to walk across the road?
Oh, I'd wait here.
Yeah,
I'd wait in the road, in this road.
All right, okay. Well, your knowledge seems to be there. So what I'd suggest then is we go for a drive, and I can work with you, see how you get on, and I can give you some pointers if we need to. Okay.
No, I think there's money for old Rob. I think you can sit back and go to sleep.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Let's go for a drive. Let's see how we get on. I can't wait.
Yeah, little faith. Bob hasn't got any faith in me. He says I'm too cocky.
Too cocky. Okay.
I know you find that hard to believe.
I know, I find it very hard to believe. I'll try and, well, let's see how we get on, and if I can give you some pointers to help you towards your test in 2.5 weeks.
Shall I set myself up?
Yeah, set yourself up then.
I do this bit the same. I don't know why Bob doesn't leave the seat where it was.
You don't know why what?
I don't know why Bob doesn't leave the seat in the same position.
Well, you've got lots of different students, isn't there?
So. Yeah.
Okay, so what are you looking for in that mirror, Tony?
Oh, what's coming behind?
Yeah, so how are you positioning that mirror?
Oh yeah, I just move it like that.
Yeah, okay. And how are you measuring how you?
Oh, what can I see? You mean?
Yeah, what can you see?
Oh, I can see the whole of the back window.
Yeah.
I can see a bit of my head restrained, a bit of yours.
Okay. And what about your door mirrors?
Oh, I can see 2 finger widths. I see the sky at the top, and I can see the door mirror of that car behind me in the middle. And the same in that one.
Okay, all right. So your mirrors are fine then. So.
Yeah.
All right, when you're ready, if you want to just prepare and get ready to go.
Must be great being in driving instruction in this weather, is it?
Hot sometimes, isn't it?
easy job though, isn't it? Just sitting on your backside all day.
Oh yeah.
£40 an hour. I wouldn't mind it.
When you get through, you'll be able to study for it.
Alright, yeah. Now I want to get a proper job. I'm going to turn end right.
At the end of the road, I'd like you to turn right, please.
End right and then next left.
And I'd like you to take, so when you've turned right at this junction, I'd like you to take the next turning on the left, please. When you've got, what I'd like you to do is just pull up on the left-hand side for me.
I've done something wrong.
What I just want to talk to you about is when we came into that junction there, did you actually have time to look into the junction to see what was happening in that new road as we approached into the new road?
I thought I did.
Could you see clearly?
I thought I did.
You couldn't. Well, we turned into that junction quite quickly, didn't we?
I was braking.
You were braking, but did you have time to assess into the new road to see if there was anything coming up the road before you made that turn?
I think the car was a little bit faster. You haven't got the car souped up a bit?
I haven't, no.
But I felt it coming a bit quicker than what I normally do. But I was braking.
Okay, so you had your foot on the clutch, I think. So what we need to do is we come round the corner. Yeah. So as you come round the corner, you need to bring your foot up the clutch. As your foot comes off the clutch, as your hand goes onto the steering wheel, your foot needs to come off the clutch. We mustn't do what's called coasting.
I'm coasting, yeah, I remember that in the early stages,
okay. All right. So let's think about that one. So when we come up to those junctions, what we need to do is before we go into the new road, we need to make sure, if you remember, it's mirror, signal, position, speed, look. And on that look, it's very important that we look, assess, decide, and act. And we're looking into that new road.
Did I make all them mistakes then?
No. What I'm asking you to do is look into the new road, see what's happening. We came into that new road very, very quickly. If a car had been coming up and coming round, we wouldn't necessarily have seen it, I don't think.
Right, I just come out right and happy with it, yeah? Yeah, I can see where you're going with the analysation. But you're chucking a lot of stuff at me there.
Right.
You have actually pinpointed what I've done wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, clutch control. You were riding
well,
the
it wasn't clutch control. The clutch never came up, yeah?
Yeah.
But then, have you pushed me to find out, do I know the consequences of coming into the corner with the clutch down?
Okay, all right. So, Tony, what would happen if you came round the corner with the clutch down? What do you think was going to happen?
Oh, I remember doing that in the early stages. We were coming uphill to a left-hand turn, and I had the clutch down, and I didn't make it. Right. And I actually rolled back and Bob laughed at me.
Okay, because you haven't got, if you keep your clutch down, you haven't got control of the car, you haven't got engine braking. Yeah,
then on the next turning, I kept it down again, but this time we were going a little bit downhill.
And it picked up speed, I should imagine.
It did? Well, how did you know? Yeah, it did, yeah. I came in way too fast.
Because you haven't got... So if you've got the clutch down, the car's not able to use the engine braking. So if you bring the clutch up and bring the foot off the clutch, rather than coasting, the engine will use engine braking, which will start to slow down the car.
Right.
Okay.
Right, so that was the only thing I'd done wrong there, didn't you?
You needed to...
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I know where you're going with this, that, I didn't have time to look.
Yeah.
But the root cause of that problem was
because you were coming around the corner too quickly.
Yeah, but the root cause of that is the fact that I coasted. I was actually braking, but if I had the engine brake in there, then the car would have come in slower, yeah?
Yeah.
That would have given me more time to look.
Okay.
Yeah? So, we're doing the analysation there. What's the remedial action?
So to do it again and for me to...
Yeah, but what's the remedial action that you need to work on? How are you going to help me with the remedial action? What is the remedial action I need, apart from a clip around the ear roll? Okay,
so what we need to do, Tony, when you come up to that junction is we need to get the appropriate gear, slow right down into the appropriate gear. So we need to assess the junction, decide what sort of a junction it is. Can we see into that junction clearly? If we can't, if it's quite a...
You're going a bit too far with that.
Right.
What's the error I made again?
Clutch control.
I coasted.
You coasted. So
what's the remedial action?
Okay, so what I want you to do is I don't want you to coast when you come around that corner.
Yes, the remedial action is
So
going
the
to be...
remedial action is, so once you've selected
You're
your gear...
going to tell me when to get the clutch up.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah?
I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
when to take the clutch up. Right,
Yeah, because
okay.
that will take all of the problems away there, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. So shall we go for another drive and...
That make sense?
Yeah, no, that's fine, yeah.
So, at this level, I've got a test run in 2.5 weeks. By not jumping in there and telling me everything,
Yeah, I've got
if
to
you
take
analyse
that.
it properly, you'll find out, you gave me a great big list there about look, active sets aside and this, that and the other and that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm totally confused, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's simply the fact that I came in with the clutch down, and it was very slightly downhill, or even the flat meant, yeah, I was braking, but obviously if I had the clutch up, then the engine brake,
Yeah.
the engine braking
Okay,
would have
I'm
kept the
with you.
car slower.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously then when you asked me, then oh yeah, I had problems with that in the early stages. I was coming uphill and
And it stalled.
well, it actually rolled back because I never made the turning. And then on the next one, it was going slightly downhill, and it came in too fast.
Okay.
So the remedial action now has got to be on the next one, Tony. I'm going to tell you when to bring the clutch up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, it does.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you don't need to tell me what mirrors to check, when to signal. You need to concentrate on the error I've made. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it'd be
I'll be
open
here all
instruction.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the fact you'll be here all day. It's the fact that I'll be leaving this lesson today with no confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I've only made one error,
Yeah.
and that's the error that you need to solve. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And you want to nip that in the bud now. Tell me when to bring the clutch up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, that's fine.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take the next road on the left, please.
I'd like you to take the next turning on the left, please. Okay.
That's fine. I didn't have the clutch down there, didn't I?
No.
I haven't seen that hand signal before.
What's up?
Yeah. Yeah, really nervous about my test now.
You'll be all right.
I'm sad.
Is it your first test?
Yeah, and the last I have. And the prices you lot charge.
I've had it all before.
End left.
The end of the road, I'd like you to turn left.
Yeah, no wonder Bob's playing golf 4 times a week.
He's chosen a nice day, isn't he?
Right?
He's chosen a good day.
Plays every day, I think. Take the next turning to the left.
I'd like you to take the next turning on the left, please. So we're going to just watch that clutch control as you come around this corner. So remember, hand up, clutch up.
Oh, clutch up.
Yeah, round you come. So you notice how much more in control it is as you come around that corner.
Yeah.
You've got engine braking taking effect there, so as you
Alright.
put that brake down, the engine's braking as well. And not
And take the
holding it
next
back.
turning to the right.
I'd like you to take the next turning on the right, please. Let's do the same here again.
Oh, get the gear.
Get your appropriate gear.
I'll
that's
hand up,
it.
clutch
Yeah,
up on it.
Clutch up, that's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Well done. And then you much more control, stay on your side of the road.
Alright. That feels better.
Okay.
So if you just go back now and check my knowledge on that, and say,
Okay, Tony. So we're driving down here now. So well, how do you know if we've got a junction coming out? How would you know?
now check my knowledge on what we just covered, and we're going to turn left.
Okay, we're going to take the next turning on the left. So how are we going to make sure we go around this corner nice and slowly?
Now, hand up, clutch up.
That's it. Okay.
Let's check my knowledge. Why is that important?
Why is that important, Tony? Why do we have to make sure the clutch pedal's up?
Oh, if it was down, because that's coming downhill there, isn't it?
Yeah,
I would have gone in very fast, wouldn't I?
you would, wouldn't you? And why would you have come in very fast?
No engine braking.
That's it. So you can see the importance of getting that clutch up so you mustn't coast.
Well, I haven't seen the importance yet. Well, you don't know that I've seen the importance yet. Yeah, Tony, what's the consequences if you come in too fast?
Okay, so Tony, tell me what the consequences are if you come round that corner too quickly.
Well, little Johnny been crossing the road there to cross to his mate's house, and I come round the corner too fast and too wide, I'm probably going to end up hitting him, wouldn't I?
You are, aren't you?
Well, there could be a car coming down the road, couldn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And you would really have to put all on, wouldn't you, to stop?
Yeah. And we're going to turn left.
I'd like you to take the next turning on the left, please.
So, I think I've got that clutch now. I'll be okay with that now.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to hand that over to you and see how you go. Hopefully you'll be okay now.
I'm going to have a little go on my own, maybe.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. Turn left. Get the gear. Hand up. Clutch up. That feels a lot better, doesn't it? So if little Johnny run over there, and I'd be able to stop, wouldn't I?
Wouldn't you?
I've got loads of time, haven't I?
Yeah, you have.
Oh, right. And if it was going uphill, I wouldn't have run out of steam, would I?
No, that's right.
Because that was embarrassing when that happened.
So, because you'd kept your foot down on the clutch, it would run. I don't know why it would run out of steam, but it would run out of power because.
Oh, no engine braking, you said, didn't you?
Yeah, no engine braking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to turn right.
I'd like you to take the next turning on the right, please. Should I have picked up there? Because it isn't the subject area I'm teaching, but should I have held you back there?
Before?
So that lady could get through. Should we have held back or
I did hold back, didn't I?
Yeah, you did, yeah. Okay.
Now we're going to turn left.
I'd like you to take the next turning on the left, please.
End left.
At the end of the road, I'd like you to turn left, please. We've just been talking about. Oh, I don't know. No, I won't go there.
Sorry?
So, what's your understanding when pedestrians are on, when we're making these turns and we've got pedestrians, like that lady was stood there, if we'd been turning into the junction, how would you have made sure it was safe for you to turn there?
No, if you're standing on the pavement, I keep going.
Yeah.
Just make eye contact with
Yeah,
it.
that's right. Okay. And if she'd started to cross Tony before we'd made our turn, what
I'd let her go because I can't run her over, can I?
You can't, so you wouldn't make the commitment, would you? You'd wait and let her go across, like you say. Yeah. Okay.
And follow the road at both roundabouts.
I'd like you to follow the road ahead at both roundabouts, please. This roundabout and the next roundabout. Okay. So do you feel confident then about that clutch control? Do you see the benefit of why you've got to do it? Good, excellent.
And we're going to take the next turning to the right.
I'd like you to take the next turning on the right, please. Okay. Can you just pull up on the left-hand side for me?
Done something wrong?
I just want to, if you can just stop there for me.
All right, I've stopped it.
Right, so we had two situations there that we needed to think about. You've got your position right for turning right, but what rule do you have to use before you make the commitment to make your turn when there's cars coming down the road?
Oh, I mustn't make him slow, stop or swerve.
Yeah, and so in that situation, could you have actually walked across and back across the road safely before that car had met you?
I think I could have done when I got there earlier, couldn't I?
You could have done it if you got there earlier, but in that situation...
No, when I did get there originally.
Yeah, but you hesitated, didn't you?
Yeah, then I dotted a bit, didn't I?
You did, didn't you? So what would have happened if you'd gone there? What would have happened to that learner driver? What would they have had to have done?
Would they have slowed down?
They would have had to have slowed down, wouldn't they, to let you get across?
Oh, right.
So if you remember, you're going to ask, if you're going to make the commitment and go, as long as it's safe to go, you're going to ask yourself first of all, can you remember what the rule is that you've got to ask yourself?
Well, I mustn't make him slow, stop or swerve.
Yeah, but there's a general rule that we're going to use, isn't there? So if you can walk from one side of the curb to the other side safely without making them stop, slow down or swerve, you can go. But because you hesitated, that car would have had to have swerved. That's why I held you back, made you stop. Okay. We also had a situation, because you'd hesitated, the pedestrian had also started to cross the road, and they were sort of about at the middle of the road before you actually made the turn. So really we should have waited and let that pedestrian get across as well before we made that commitment.
Oh, she stopped in the middle of Safe Haven, didn't she?
She did, but wouldn't it have been better just to let her get across the road?
I didn't see her.
You didn't see her, so that's one of the reasons. So really, before we make that commitment, we've got to look into the new road to see what's happening before we make our turn.
Oh, right.
Okay, so if we'd stopped and slowed down and let that car go, and then looked into the new road, we'd have been aware of what was going on with that pedestrian, and we could have let her get across the road safely before we made our commitment.
Right. I've just come out of roll a minute. You could have stopped all that happening, couldn't you? How could you have stopped it happening on approach? How could you have been proactive? Yeah, you've handled it, reactively. You've handled it very well. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But God has gone around the houses to handle it, isn't it?
Okay.
It could have been all handled a lot easier than that. How could you have been proactive?
So I could have asked you to look at the road, judge the speed of the traffic coming down the road.
All you had to do was ask me a simple question.
Is it safe for you to walk across?
Because in the early stages, I had time to actually nip across, nip back again, have a cup of tea and a sandwich, didn't I?
Yeah. Okay.
But I deliberately
did it because I hadn't asked you.
Yeah. Yeah. Why didn't you ask that question? Am I going to go in front of that blue learner car, or am I going to wait?
Yeah.
I probably would have come in with the right answer.